Good evening, everyone. Welcome back to RLH for the final round of the Season 10 calendar, and we're at the new Jeddah circuit, just recently added to the Codemasters game, of course, so there's a fair few drivers out there that won't have too much track time on it. And what have we got already? We've got Fleddy to the top of the table on a 28.4. No idea how good a time that will turn out to be, but at the moment looks pretty promising. He's about 4/10 clear of Giraffe, who is on the front row with him at the moment. We'll go to the best tire and get some track map info up so we can see what's going on, and what a track that is. As you can see, some yellows down at the final corner. I think that's with drivers coming back to the pits. We'll try and find anyone who's on a lap, and already we're getting some issues with traffic as they try and sort it all out down the back straight, I suppose you could call it. Into the final corner we come, and that's just in time. Looking like it's so narrow down this start-finish straight, isn't it? Who can we find who's on a lap? Backer's coming out of the pits on the softs. He's registered as doing his best lap on the mediums so far. However, he's not yet to set a time. Skipsy has done his best lap on the mediums. He's slotted into P8 so far, so it's probably not going to work out that that'll be any advantage to him. Probably stick a set of softs on before the end. LS is back in the pits, having not set a time, and just as we said that for Skipsy, he's lost it. We'll try and I think maybe Christian Hasser is coming in just behind him at the moment. There'll be yellow flags up ahead. It looks like he's dropped it at the back of the circuit somewhere, and yeah, right across the middle of the track. So yeah, Skipsy out of things, and we'll just try and get a few things, bits of information up. We do, of course, have some championships to settle this evening, and with it being the last round, you can guarantee they'll be settled this evening. It could have been closed, I believe, last weekend, but results didn't quite go the way it was required. The two Astons, Entity doing a great job on his first run, joining his teammate up there. I think there's been a bit of to and fro between those two as to who the number one driver is at Aston, and at the moment Entity's showing up his teammate Giraffe by 10th and a bit, but at the moment in the championship it's Giraffe who's very much in the fight this evening. We've got Fleddy on 277 points, we've got Giraffe on 253, and we've got Ricker on 244, all still within the championship fight. We've got a point for pole, of course, so Fleddy's put himself in the best position possible for that so far. And a point for the fastest lap within the top 10 in the race, of course. And then you've got the RLH scoring system, which will be 40 for a win. So that leaves 42 points for a maximum score, which is why those with 33 points between Fleddy and Ricker in third. That's why they're all still in contention. Fleddy clear on the win count, so anything that comes to count back, if that is possible, then he would quite clearly take that. So what have we got happening out the back of the circuit? Maybe we've got more yellows. Just under 10 minutes remaining, so plenty of time for drivers to get their times in, providing they're not sticking it in the wall. Giraffe looks like he's on a lap here, so we'll stick with him. Second in the championship going into this, and just over the white line, and he loses the lap. Plenty of time to get another one in, but yeah, not ideal. And out the back of the circuit, yeah, there's a lot of traffic. I think we've got both Williams in there, we've got an AlphaTauri at the front, we've got both Ferraris as well. So they'll be looking to find themselves a little bit of space. So I think it's Liam who is... No, Liam's just crossing the line, so that means it's LS who is in the final corner now. So Fleddy will want to be leaving a bit of a gap, and he does. Just wants to make sure. I think they're all on outlaps in this little group. So yeah, just need to be careful that no one comes out of the pits right in front of your lap. But Fleddy begins a flying lap and tries to improve on his current 1:28.4. Backer's got a little bit closer. He currently sits P4 in the title race. Can't take the top spot this evening. Yeah, Skipsy, something to learn, don't push on an in-lap, so it wasn't even on a lap when he dropped it, unfortunately. Right, Fleddy halfway around the lap, down at the furthest point of the circuit, and now it starts to build the speed around the back of the circuit. I'm not even going to try with corner numbers, but yeah, just over halfway around the lap and approaching the end of the second sector. We'll hopefully get a time to see what sort of progress he's making coming through now. And look at that, he's a third of a second up once again, so this could even put him close to the 27s, taking all of the track on the inside there over the very flat curbs on this Jeddah circuit. Really just painted on, as you can see. Not much to them. Final corner, late apex by the looks of things, carrying a lot of minimum speed through there. Driving for the line. Is it going to be an improvement? Can he maintain that third of a second or improve on it? And yep, comes across the line. 28.1 puts himself half a second clear of Bakker at the moment. We've got more yellows, as I think that is Schnitzy at the back of the circuit. Can McLaren do any better this evening than they did in Brazil? That will be something to watch. It was pretty disastrous last week, wasn't it? But, hopefully for Phil and Nicker, both long-time members now, of course, hopefully they can sign off their season in a little bit better fashion. Nicker on an out lap now, so just about to start his flying lap. So am I seeing it right? There's 3 DRS zones. Yep, looks that way. Interesting to see the DRS zone down the sort of final straight is very much not straight, so it could be a little bit of a challenge. Either way, Nicker's onto his lap, and at the moment needs to improve on what is a 1:30.8, and given the fact that he's 8 and a bit seconds clear of his teammate Phil, we're going to assume Phil's not got a clean lap in just yet. Entity's gone up 28.5, so he's clearly found some decent pace around here this evening. And at the moment, his teammate Giraffe has dropped quite some places down to 7th, so he sits in the pits with just over 5.5 minutes remaining. And we'll need to pull a lap out of the bag if he wants to put himself in a good position for the championship. Of course, anything can happen around here. We're going to have safety cars, we're going to have collisions, we're going to have drama absolutely guaranteed. New track, and with the walls in such close proximity, that is goes without saying, really. Ricker, at the moment, is your sort of outside bet, the Raikkonen 2007 of the championship, and he sits in P5. And if he could gain just a 10th and a bit, he would put himself onto the front row. So yeah, it's very tight. Fleddy's sort of away and gone on the 1 lap pace anyway. In behind him, it's very, very tight. Just 3/10 covering 2nd to 8th positions, who all currently, apart from the entity, sit in the pits. Nicker across the line, can he improve on that? He does by 1.5 seconds, puts himself just outside the top 10, which might not be too bad a place to go. And the entity is back into the pits, having improved and put himself on the front row provisionally. Schnitzy, he was on a lap. Looks like he's invalidated it. We've got some support for Bakker in the chat as well. And let's just catch up. We've got C3 running as well, although not streamed this evening. And back into the bits comes Schnitzy. Nicker's on an in-lap, just in time. He's out there and going rather slowly by the looks of things. Is he starting a lap or returning to the pits? He is coming into the pits. So I think with just under 4 minutes remaining, this is sort of the calm before the storm of the final runs, isn't it? And everyone just going back into the pits, leaving it as late as possible, getting new tyres on, the new soft tyres, and going for what will be their final attempt at putting themselves as high up the grid as possible for this round 14, and 16 in attendance this evening. And Let's just see what's going on elsewhere. Luke performing pretty well, so I think he was second in the championship in C3. I think he may have just put in a decent lap, maybe even pole in C3. We'll try and bring you news from that as soon as possible. And yellows, I think everyone's just preparing themselves for a lap. The problem with going out with sort of 3 minutes remaining is you do leave yourself open to anyone coming out of the pits on their out lap. And at the moment, Liam's starting a flyer with, I think, one of the Ferraris coming out, so hopefully he can clear that. And in behind, I think, is possibly Cranky in the Williams, or yeah, just in time in the pits. So I think it's definitely Cranky coming through turn 1 who filters out behind. It's the Ferrari of Ender. So Liam either way, and we've got yellow flags there as Ender tries to get out of the way. Hopefully he did that without costing any time. And Liam is approaching the end of the first sector already. Is he going to improve? He's, yeah, 10th and a half up. DRS open down to the far end of the circuit, carrying plenty of speed through there. It's quite a open hairpin, to be honest, but probably still one of the better overtaking opportunities on the track this evening. As you can see down on the track map, drivers are starting to filter out their out laps, so that is what we were describing just a minute ago. With 2 minutes remaining, you really want to be getting out on track now. And it looks pretty busy down that far end of the circuit, doesn't it? Liam now coming through, keeping it within the white lines, and he is where now he's into the final couple of corners. And yeah, we'll try and pick up this track, hopefully recognise a few places later on as we get used to it. And into the final corner he comes. Oh, looks pretty neat and tidy, doesn't it? Got the power down nicely, absolutely no oversteer on the exit. Taking the shortest route to the line, 28.1. Look at that, so close to a provisional pole position. Cranky coming across the line goes 28.4, so some big improvements coming as drivers get their laps in and get more and more laps in. Giraffe crucially goes P3, so he's got himself in the fight as it stands. So that'll be the end of his qualifying with just over a minute remaining. Can anyone else knock him down into the pack? We've got Fleddy, I think, starting a lap. Yeah, we'll keep an eye on that one. Wait a minute, we've got some yellow flags. I think that's just people backing off. Phil coming across the line, improves by 9 seconds to go last. Hopefully getting out of the way. Yeah, I think that was LS behind him starting a lap. It was. Who else can we see coming across the line? Back is out of the other side of the circuit. Multi's just started a lap by the looks of things. P9 at the moment. Doesn't need too much improvement to gain a position on Christian Hassett. He's getting himself into the 28s as the entity. Yeah, there's another one crossing the line to start a lap, as is Backer. 20 seconds remaining. I think everyone is on laps. Ricker just starting one, and Nicker is probably going to be the last man across the line in terms of starting his final run. And what have we got in behind? Just in time. No, it's Cranky, I think, on an in lap. Try and catch everyone as they come across the line. So that's Giraffe. Giraffe is actually on another lap, so I don't know if he's done 2 on this set. Did he improve? He did a little bit by the looks of things. 28.221 and finishes his run. Fleddy's out of the final corner. Cranky has lost it somewhere, or is he in the pits? I think he's back in the pits. Fleddy across the line. Can he improve? 27.6 puts his stamp on this race and the championship, and almost guarantees himself the additional point for the pole position. Who can we see coming across the line? I think Multi is going to go across the line. Backs off. I think seemed to break over the line. Maybe wasn't improving, or maybe was improving but had damaged the tyres. Either way, we've got Christian Hassett has invalidated. Entity likewise. I think we're not going to get too many more laps in. We're looking for Backer coming through the final corner. Oh, big slide and contact with the wall. That looked very dramatic, didn't it? Hopefully not going to block too many laps. We've got Ricker. He should get through there cleanly. Just manages to pick his way through. And can he improve coming across the line? Might have been slightly compromised. Still improves, puts himself P5. So, at the moment, as it stands, your championship contenders are lining up directly behind each other. Fleddy first, Giraffe third, Ricker fifth. And they're in championship order as well. So, would have been nice to have them the other way around, really, but that is how it stands, and the McLarens don't seem to have improved any further. I think that is about it for qualifying. Did we miss any big improvements at the end? I don't think we did. Ended with a solid performance, actually. P11 in the other Ferrari. That's a very good day at the office for him in the 29.3. Yeah, Skipsy, we lost early on, unfortunately. But that's qualifying for you. So we're just waiting for Nick's car to return to the pits, and we'll be going to the grid very shortly. So, confirmation of your starting grid. It's Fleddy, and the front row alongside him is Liam with a very good 28.1 to split the championship contenders. Cranky right up there as well in P4. Obviously, as we've mentioned, Giraffe is in P3 on the second row with him. And then we've got Ricker, the entity, Backer, Christian Hasser, Multi, Just in Time, Ender, Nicker, Schnitzy, Skipsy, and LS and Phil rounding out the grid. I think Phil's sort of checked out already on his holidays for this season. But yeah, just getting a few comments in. Skipsy, time to do a Hamilton Brazil comeback, I think. Mick, yeah, Mick, we lost sort of early on in terms of the lobby. I think he's managed to get back in, and he thinks he's in the Red Bull. Usually driving the Haas, of course. So hopefully, after a little bit of a drama for him, hopefully he can get it all back in the session, and hopefully no lobby issues. I know Codemasters are sort of quite good at outdoing themselves on that front. So hopefully we'll get onto the grid in 20 seconds time, and we have no issues when we get there. Backer, yeah, trying to make a bit of drama for the last race. Certainly got that incident on stream. Managed to catch him out there. So, what do we know about this Jeddah Street circuit? It's probably going to be pretty tough for overtaking, even with the sort of lack of dirty air in the sim world. As Fleddy gets us away on the formation lap. We'll just have a quick look at the tyres everyone's running. So top 11 are on softs. Then Nicker, Schnitzy and Skipsy all going for the mediums. LS on the soft, Phil likewise with his teammate on the mediums, and then Micken, yeah, in the other Red Bull takes up P17. He's on the softs. So yeah, it is interesting. If you go for the alternate strategy, you can sort of get boxed in on circuits that are likely to have an early safety car. You know, if you get that early safety car sort of 6, 7 or 5, 6, 7 laps in, while there's still a lot of cars on track, you can yeah, it can definitely come towards those who start on the softer tyre. They put the hard on and go to the end, and you're sort of stuck in the middle of nowhere on your mediums trying to go long, but yeah, compromised on the strategy there. So it's interesting to see so many going with the softs. Absolutely no hard tyres out there. So yeah, overtaking probably going to be quite difficult. 27 corners, we'll try and keep up with that. Probably don't stand too much of a chance. We've got 25 laps, of course, as you can see on screen this evening. And yeah, I imagine it's there's probably potential for some of those to be following the car around under safety car conditions. It's expected to be a one-stop, although that could, as we mentioned, go out the window very early on. Yeah, that's about it really. So the first Saudi Arabian Grand Prix in RLH history is now very close to getting underway. So we've got the goose on the comments. Giraffe still thinks he can win the championship. I have more chance of marrying Margot Robbie. Interesting. I hear she is on the lookout for a bit of a goosing. Anyway, we've got drivers on the start-finish straight, and we'll be on the grid, lining up very soon indeed. They're all pretty tightly packed together, so they've all kept up a decent pace. Fleddy is about to pull into his starting box, and yeah, I wonder what the what the pressure's like, how he's coping with leading the championship into this final race. He's been pretty incredible this season. 7 podiums, 5 wins. If he can add to that this evening, he will take home the RLH C2 Championship. Last couple of cars lining up now. Micken in that unfamiliar Red Bull, and we will be underway very shortly indeed. Try and get a forward-facing camera. It would be nice. Doesn't look like we're going to be able to, unfortunately. There we go. And we've got lights coming on already. We've got 5 of them, and the season finale is go. Decent start, it looks like, from Fleddy, and I think Cranky probably got a good start as well. He's into the middle of 3 wide into turn 1. Oh, a bit of collision down the back as already parts and cars flying. What on earth has gone on in turn 1? Who's going to come out of it? Fleddy leads from Liam. Cranky's come through. Giraffe down 1. Ricker just behind him. Schnitzy looks like he's dropped a few. Ender down as well. What's going on behind Fleddy, who is away and gone at the moment. So, yeah, perfect start for him for his championship. Look at Nicker coming through the field, making good progress. We'll try and keep up with some of what's going on back there. Just in time is well off the track. Look at Christian Hasser and Micken in the 2 Red Bulls, picking their way through already. Just in time. Looks like he may have damage as they come down to the far end of the circuit. Maybe not. Just really seemed to get out of shape and yeah, lost a lot of time, lost a couple of positions. Look at Micken coming through the field. We've seen some good pace from him this season, and he's pretty impatient, isn't he? He wants to get underway at the moment. His new teammate for the evening, Christian Hasser, is just holding him up a little bit. But Nicker, what a start for the McLaren driver. He started on the mediums, and he's yet, even so, made great progress. Put himself in a fantastic position to sign off the season if he can continue on. As you can see, it's a little bit darker now. Oh, big crash. Bakker's out. Bakker is out of the race, and we've got a VSC immediately. Hopefully everyone can avoid the Alpine, but yeah, it'd be interesting to see whether he collected another car there or just sort of understeered all by himself. Either way, we've got only a VSC, which is good news for Fleddy. He maintains his 1.3 second lead up the front. Cranky's dropped back a little bit. Wait, where's Giraffe? Giraffe's pitting. Giraffe, does he have damage? Is there a front wing waiting? I don't think there is there? Yes, there is. Front wing waiting for Giraffe, so we didn't see too much major damage, maybe just a tiny amount that he's felt the need to get out of the way whilst we're under virtual safety car conditions. He's put the mediums on, so probably almost certainly going to have to pit again this evening. And, oh, wait a minute, Nicker! Such good progress in the early stages. Picks up a drive-through penalty for speeding under the virtual safety car. All that hard work undone. Currently running P6 and in a perfect position to take advantage of those medium tyres. But, yeah, unfortunately for him, it's all gone out the window. LS24 is picking up penalties all over the place, so not sure what's going on with that one. He's already got 13 seconds and we're on lap 2, so probably needs to try and stick to the track a little more. We'll just keep up with the position change, and as you can see, Fleddy and Liam maintaining their front row positions, and have converted that into 1-2 in this race so far. Cranky's starting to close up again just a little bit. He's showing some good pace around here this evening. Up 1, Ricker up 1, the Entity up 1, Nicker we've mentioned up 6, but we'll go down quite a few at the moment. Multi's doing a good job up 2, and yeah, here comes Micken. He's trying to make some more positions, and don't rule him out for a podium this evening. And now we've lost LS24 out, so he unfortunately, and another virtual safety car sees Nicker in, and it's that that's really caught Nicker out, because I don't think this is going to count. This is going to pit him because the virtual safety car just came out when he was already in the pits, and he's put a set of softs on. Oh my word, it's gone from bad to worse for Nicker. I'm almost certain that was not intentional. And yes, so unfortunate that LS triggered that virtual safety car as he was coming in. I'm almost certain he was coming to serve the drive-through, which he still has, of course. So yeah, even worse for the McLaren team, as Phil, as a result of the AlphaTauri dropping out, is now at the back of the field as well. So back to the front. What have we got going on? We've got Fleddy in the position he needs to be in, doing everything he needs to do to take home this title this evening. Liam and Cranky both having starring roles in this final round of the season. Liam P5 in the championship, Cranky I think it took him half the season to finish a race, currently in P16. So could gain a couple of positions before the end of the season. But be looking more than anything to get himself on the podium this evening. Ricker, though, is not going to go down without a fight. He's the outsider for the championship. Probably needs something to happen to Fleddy if he's going to take it, but who knows? A long way to go. We're still currently under virtual safety car conditions. The entity is still very much up there for Aston as well, and we're back underway with green flag racing, and DRS enabled now as well for the first time in this race. Micken has stalled a little bit on behind Multi, but tries to slot in front of him, but has to wait just a little bit. And now down the start-finish straight, could line up a move here. He's got a decent amount of energy, as has Multi, but the DRS, can he make it through? As it gets a little bit tighter than he would have expected down there, but all fair, and a good move. Up into 6th place, so coming through the field after missing quali. Doing a very good job indeed. And where's Giraffe? Currently sits in P12 then. Just gone past Nicker, who finally comes in to serve that drive-through. Unfortunately for him, he's back on the soft tyres, which is not what he wanted to be doing this evening. We'll just have a quick check-in with the constructors. Ferrari on 357, Aston on 341. So that's a fight that could get a little bit interesting if Giraffe can pull his way back up the field on this sort of damage comeback sort of alternate strategy now. If he can find his way back up to some decent points with the entity scoring as well. Ender is actually picking up some good points himself in P9. So both Ferraris sort of around about there. Both of the Astons were very much up there in quali, so that's a fight. 16 points between them before this race, with Ferrari holding that advantage. So it'll be interesting. Backer, even more drama, unfortunately for him. Crashed 2 times this evening. As we watch the McLarens fighting down the back. Fleddy, though, is already into lap 5, despite the 2 virtual safety cars. Interesting, we've not yet seen a full safety car. Fleddy now has a chance to demonstrate his pace as he comes through with a clear lap and sets that fastest lap of the race. Liam's dropped to 2 seconds behind, and Cranky is actually closing up onto the back of him now. Cranky, what can he manage? He's managed half the laps Kelly predicted. Don't want to put any curse on him, so we'll skirt past that one. But at the moment, well off the track there, as he tries to pursue the AlphaTauri ahead of him. A little bit of understeer at high speed, and picking up, unfortunately for him, a 3-second penalty as we ride on board. The entity is similar sort of distance behind Ricker. Not really making too much progress on him at the moment. Micken, though, up 11. His next target is to get into the top 5 of this race. Quick check-in with Skipsy, actually. We forgot about him. Lost him early on in qualifying. He's up 5 and has skirted around most of the drama so far, as Christian Hasser is another one to pick up a penalty. Skipsy on the mediums is just in behind Ender and Schnitzy. So Schnitzy actually the first man on the mediums, doing a very good job in the second Mercedes as they come down to the final part of the lap. And some support for Ferrari in the comments as well as he moves up into P7. Schnitzy's got done twice there. Wait a minute, what's going on here? Oh, a little bit of contact between the entity and Ricker as they race down the start-finish straight. Neither of them got DRS, or neither of them activating DRS, so it'll be interesting to see what happened at the final corner. This three-way fight's continuing as Schnitzy tries to fight back. Maybe got DRS himself, I would have thought. But Skipsy's up to the front of it and remains in P8, and Schnitzy now down to P9. Multi as well is he's been in for the hards at some point, so that's where we've lost Multi in all of this. He's now defending from Christian Hasser, who's been in for his own set of hard tyres. So we didn't see any of that at the start of the race, but now 2 drivers out there running the white wall tyre. Schnitzy joins the club on 3 seconds of penalties. Nicker coming back through, following that little unfortunate mishap for him. He's back up into P13. Your leader, we'll check in with him. He's now 2.5 clear, and is all running pretty smoothly at the moment. But Liam and Cranky have just spread out a little bit as well, so a little bit of field spread just starting to come into play. And we'll just catch up with what's happening elsewhere. Oh, Giraffe, 3-second time penalty. That's definitely not what he will need. And wait a minute, we've got Phil out of the race. Down the in the first sector, we've got full safety car. Full safety car, and who's going to be the first to take advantage of that? Cranky. Liam got in. Liam did get in. And I think Fleddy's going to be picked up almost immediately by the safety car, is he? Looks like the green lights on the safety car will probably... Will it let him overtake? No. So Fleddy is definitely in. So they will, and wait a minute, the entity's on Inters. That's a bit of a miscommunication down at Aston Martin. Well, we knew we'd see drama. We didn't quite expect drama to the extent of people pitting to serve drive-throughs right at the moment of VSC's called and drivers putting Inters on by mistake. We've now got a lot of drivers out there on the hards going straight to the end. Yeah, wow. Lap 7 is all we're currently on. Micken, look at that, up to P2 from the back of the grid. Liam's going to come out right behind. Liam's going to be leading this race. This is disaster for Fleddy, being picked up by the safety car so early in the lap, having just crossed the start-finish line. Literally crossing the start-finish line. He'd just gone past the pits. That is the worst possible time the safety car could have come out for him. The bonus for him is it's Ricker who's probably going to take most advantage in terms of the championship contenders, and he is yeah, the sort of outsider on the points. So yeah, Giraffe at the moment will be ruining that incident early on, which has meant he's down the field as it stands. It'll be interesting to see if Fleddy pits under the safety car or sort of tries to stretch these tyres as long as possible and build that gap back up. The entity is definitely going to have to pit again. Into the final corner we come. And what are we going to see Fleddy do? He's warming the tyres, which suggests he might not pit, but he does. So a little bit of a dummy maybe. Fleddy is very much into the pits. Micken continues on and leads this race. So the entity's in to change his Inters for a set of the mediums. And Fleddy's away and gone as well. He's going to come in behind Giraffe. And the question is... Yeah, sorry, he's ahead of the entity who pitted as well. So Fleddy comes in directly behind his nearest championship rival. Ricker, though, up in P4, is going to the end. So you'd expect Fleddy to come back through the order. So I don't think this is sort of critical to his championship. But it's a distraction and an inconvenience he very much wouldn't have wanted at this stage. He was running away with things up the front. It was all running very smoothly. And yeah, that's turned very much on its head. Micken, though, stayed out on the soft, so he started the race on. Yeah, obviously is sort of taking a bit of a gamble, having started at the back of the grid. So how long can he get on those? They've not probably done that much sort of hard mileage. We've had a couple of virtual safety cars and now a full safety car. So those, while they've done 7 or 8 laps, it's not as bad as it could be. But now we've got Giraffe and Fleddy both fighting for the championship, and both need to come through some cars that won't be pitting for quite a while, if at all. Schnitzy is going to be pretty competitive on the softs. Skipsy also on brand new softs. I wonder if that was intentional or they just didn't have time to react and set the tyres. Either way, that's what they've got on the car as it stands. And safety car's going to be in this lap, so we'll go back to the front of the queue. The Aston Martin safety car will return to the pits, and Micken will lead us away. So yeah, 8 laps ago he was right down the back, and he's going to lead us into lap 9 very much up the front. But Cranky, Liam and Cranky, and I suppose Ricker as well, and Ender, all going to the end on hard tyres. or all intending to go to the end on hard tyres, and all right up the sharp end. So this has worked out brilliantly for them. Luckily, none of that leading group were teammates either, so no one got held in the pits. Micken's gone already, and driving for the line. He looks to have made a pretty clean break, trying to just break the toe a little bit there, and down into turn 1 he'll come, should maintain that lead no problem. And his tyres should be nicely up to temperature, a little bit quicker than these white-walled hards behind him, as already Skipsy, as you can imagine, on brand new softs, is looking to make best progress immediately, and trying to get past Ricker and Cranky to do so. Nicker is trying to make his way back through as well. We've got more yellows as Schnitzy has gone down. Nicker slightly off the track there, I guess. As Ender just struggling a little bit, and it goes off himself actually on the hards. But look at Giraffe already coming through the order, and he's going through on the Williams of just in time and gets Ender as well. So he's put quite a few cars between himself and Fleddy pretty early on. One of them is Fleddy's teammates. I can't imagine he'll fight that battle too hard, but the Ferrari is at the moment just stuck a little bit, and racing in the mid-pack is not the most comfortable position to be in. But now is very much time for patience, and Fleddy has been one of the best at knowing when to attack and sort of not putting his nose in fights that don't really concern him. And yeah, at the moment he'll just sit there. He knows he's got a long way to go in this race, and his pace will eventually pick off these ahead of him. But he's getting a little bit close for comfort there. As we come into the final corner, is he going to outbrake the Williams and try and go all the way around the outside? No, he's going to set him up and probably get a better run out. He's almost pushing him through the exit of the final corner. So yeah, no DRS of course until 2 laps after the safety car, and in fact, if anything, Multi is trying to put a bit of a move on him here. So this is yeah, very uncomfortable position for your championship leader. Has to give yeah, give him plenty of space. As you can see, he doesn't want to get mixed up with any contact, and it's how much do you risk? Because if you're too cautious, you'll just get someone sort of running into you and not expecting those sort of movements. But yeah, you need to sort of get on with it. It's a hurry up and wait situation for Fleddy. Doesn't want to go all out, but likewise can't get dragged back in. We've seen that so many occasions, haven't we? Hamilton 2008, Vettel 2012. You know, if you're cautious, you end up probably coming off second best. And that's the entity now trying to race with Multi. And yeah, decent little race going on there, as we've got some yellows for Schnitz, who's managed to put it in the wall at turn 1. Front wing damage as well, so he's got a long way to come and replace that. Back to the front, we've still got Micken, and he's not quite managed to drop Liam as yet. They have very much dropped Cranky, as just in time retires, so that's another retiree and another safety car. So yeah, strange that we've seen virtual safety cars so early on, and now we're just getting the full safety car. But either way, we are back in, and Micken pits, so that's perfect timing for him, isn't it? Although the field is very bunched up. Cranky's in again. Why is Cranky pitting? Does he have damage? Is that why he lost the time? There's no damage really showing. I would imagine that is the reason. You know, I can't imagine pit for any other reason than carrying damage. No, he's putting a set of mediums on. That's bizarre. Why would Cranky give up so much track position? He's down all the way to P11 now. Liam now leads the race from Skipsy on softs. Ricker's starting to look a bit clever now in P3, but Giraffe is back up into P4, recycling the championship contenders right back up to the front again. They're in 3rd, 4th and 6th all of a sudden. At the moment, they managed to avoid the walls where 4 of the other guys haven't. So we're back with the race neutralised once again. This was always going to be an evening for cool heads, and yeah, picking when best to pit, what tyre to go with. It was always going to be a thinking race rather than sort of flat out lights to flag. But yeah, what do you do now? Schnitzy has, unfortunately, we've lost him in the pit lane. So, 12 remaining on lap 11 here of 25. Incredibly, we're not far off half distance. And yeah, as it stands, Fleddy would take the championship. I'm not actually sure who's got the fastest lap, and I've got a feeling. Can I see it? Yeah, there we go. Fleddy's picking up the point for fastest lap at the moment and the point for pole. So he holds a lead. Ignoring finishing position, he holds a lead of. It would help if I had the driver standings and not the constructors up. That would be 35 points over Ricker and 26, I believe, over Giraffe. So yeah, at the moment it's still pretty comfortable in that P6. Liam, though. So could we get a first-time winner this evening in terms of this season? Liam has won one race this season. Micken is yet to win a race. He is now down into P10 with new mediums. Who else? Nico has not won this season. He's the next highest up in the championship with no win. He's P7, but yeah, 12th in the race at the moment. Probably going to need some more drama if he's going to find his way back to the front. As we've said, so unfortunate that he lost out early on with that sort of bizarre drive-through and virtual safety car incident. Who else could we possibly see? Multi's yet to pick up a win. He's P7 at the moment. I think the Entity, but we've seen him drop back with that intermediate call. Next on the list is Cranky. He's dropped back, having pitted under the most recent safety car as well. And then you're probably sort of out of ideas in terms of first-time winners. Plenty of people could pick up a first podium. But of course the main thing we're all here for is a championship to be decided. And at the moment it's very much staying with the guy who led into this race with Fleddy. Schnitzy, possibly message coming in. Not sure on that one. Either way, we're round to the end of lap 12 of 25. We're getting through this race, even if we've had a couple of breaks in between. And safety car's about to come in, and Liam will lead us away. We've got Muffin on the comments, Giraffe letting the fans down again. Yeah, we've got the Giraffe fan club out in force. At the moment, he needs a little bit more if he's going to take the title from the grasp of Fleddy. So, safety car is back in the pits. Liam is slowing things down quite significantly. I wonder if he's going to go pretty early on the exit of the final corner here. He's got Skipsy in behind on fresh softs, so he's going to have to do well to keep that one. But we're still going, and finally now we're underway. So he's gone there, and wait a minute, we've got Christian Hasser and the Entity have had a bit of a collision on the restart, but either way, Liam is going to lead us down into turn one. Skipsy and Ricker in second and third, Giraffe, Ender and Fleddy fifth and sixth, as Micken already making progress, but yeah, back down. Fleddy in P5, so we have our three championship contenders running in order, third, fourth and fifth. And let's just get the interval and a few bits of information back on. There we go. And hopefully we can get a exterior view. There we go. Giraffe putting pressure on Ricker. So he's got the mediums compared to the hards and needs to get this move done. Needs to get himself to the front of the field and then worry about everyone else, his other championship contenders, later on. At the moment, Ricker's going to the end very much on those hards. They'll have no problem in terms of durability. It's just a question of the raw pace that white walled tyre will give. At the moment, though, looking pretty comfortable. Although the ERS of Giraffe is getting him into play. Once again, of course, no DRS for a couple of laps. At the moment, Skipsy's not really making too much of an impression on Liam up the front, so those softs are not giving him the advantage we would have expected. And but Ricker very much dropping off the lead too. And at the moment, a bit of a queue behind him. His two championship contenders on the mediums look like they've got the better pace at this stage. and probably need to take advantage of that while the tyres are fresh. Look how defensive Rick is going already, trying to break that toe. No DRS, it's all slipstream and battery management. Down into turn 1, Giraffe should get that move done from there. And nice and late on the brakes, although Rick is going to run it around the outside, giving each other an awful lot of space. And Fleddy, I did think that one was possibly coming, goes past the pair of them, does he? They're both, all three of them. This is incredible, your 3 championship rivals. And unfortunately we're getting on-board cameras when we absolutely don't want them. Your 3 championship contenders, almost 3 wide into turn 4 there. And Giraffe's come out best so far, but does have that penalty pegging him back. Fleddy, once again, looking in an incredibly strong situation. Multi trying to get in on the act as well, trying to spoil the championship party in P6 at the moment. But we've got some support with the Aston as well, coming in the form of Entity. But what can Multi do? At the moment, Rick is struggling for pace on these hards. He'll come back strong towards the end as the mediums wear down. But at the moment, really struggling to keep up with the 2 ahead of him, who I'm sure, no doubt, will start to close the gap to Skipsy, although that's getting pretty close, isn't it? Down towards the end of the lap. Skipsy's got those softs fired up, it seems, and he's really now putting pressure on the leader, Liam, who is also on those hards. So hards don't look a great tyre at the moment, do they? As Skipsy down into the final corner, taking the tight line, that might compromise his straight line speed down the start finish straight. Liam at the moment looks able to defend that one, although the slipstream seems pretty powerful, doesn't it? Even with DRS only now enabled on the coming lap. Liam, though, covers the inside line. We've seen drivers going around the outside and overtaking into 2, but that's not happening this time. Liam still leads the race. Skipsy and right behind him, Giraffe, maintaining that P3 over Fleddy at the moment, and Ricker just dropping back into the clutches of Multi. What can the Alpine driver do? I believe still without a podium this season. Can he sign off? And I think taking a bit of a break from things as well, as at the moment, what's just happened there? Liam's got a penalty and someone else did there as well. I think it might have been Christian Hasser, might have missed that one. Not entirely sure there, but can Multi sign off in his final race for a while with a podium? Would be a fitting way to end. And at the moment, what have we got going on? We've got Skipsy, sort of half a second behind. He's going to have the DRS. Fleddy's going to have the DRS on Giraffe, so he might be back to the front of the order in terms of the championship contenders pretty soon. He's going to have DRS down this sort of final straight-ish. At the moment, of course, with that penalty, he is running ahead of Giraffe on the timings. DRS open. Will get himself into the range he needs to be for a move down the start-finish straight. Not going to be close enough into the final corner. But, very much... wait a minute, we've had a bit of a change up the front. Skipsy now leads. But is Fleddy going to make the move for P3? And start really recovering from that poorly timed safety car for him earlier on. Going very deep. Actually, seemed to get a little bit caught out by Giraffe there, who gained himself a little bit of a buffer. Multi has got past Ricker, so we're missing all the important moves this evening. You'll be pleased to know. The Entity now is starting to put pressure on the Mercedes. So, as we mentioned, the hard really not working. Ricker is struggling as the Entity making his own track up for a little moment there. And, unfortunately making a bit of contact. Micken, though, is coming through. Cranky sets the fastest lap of the race, so unfortunately we lost him from the lead battle earlier on under the safety car. He's at least got some pace over one lap. But Micken now is coming up the order once again, following that single pit stop under the latest safety car. Put the mediums on, should go to the end. And it could be a little bit of a headache for Ricker, who is coming into this race 3rd out of 3, and is very much in this race 3rd out of the 3 championship contenders, and starting to sort of wonder a little bit how he's going to manage to turn this around. It's slipping away from him at the moment. Fleddy, though, still in behind Giraffe, and not much he can do about it at the moment. Liam is still sticking with Skipsy, so with the DRS he's managing to make those hards work pretty okay. Making Skipsy go a little bit defensive, at least into turn 1. As we see Ender, I think, getting past... wait a minute, Entity's pitted. after just 8 laps on the mediums. Front wing change, yeah, we saw him make a little bit of contact, and looks like a penalty in there as well. That was for the contact under the previous safety car, wasn't it? So Skipsy still leads, but we'll have to pit again. Liam is effectively your net race leader as it stands on lap 17 of 25. We're getting quite close to the end, actually. Yeah, it's flown by. A little bit out of shape there from Liam. But, what can Giraffe manage at the moment? Still sticking just ahead of Fleddy, but you know, Fleddy doesn't have to do anything more than that. He would take P3 as it stands. In fact, I think he'd probably take P2 as it stands. So, and with Skipsy probably having to pit before the end, Fleddy is almost leading this race all of a sudden. Even without making any moves. Giraffe really coming under pressure, but putting the car at the moment in all the right places. So yeah, the DRS once again is going to be open on that Ferrari. And how long can he realistically hold him back? He's used a lot of energy. Look, he's used almost all the energy. He'll get in behind, and can he now take the advantage of that DRS and charge his battery up a little bit? They are homing in on that lead pair. And once again, look at drivers trying to get out of the tow as early as possible on that start-finish straight. Giraffe taking the DRS, he'll try and charge up and fight back, but once again, look at Micken coming through the order. He's made the move on Ricker. Don't count him out just yet. Wait a minute, who's that? That's Cranky. Down the order, and have we got some damage on the Williams? Just about thinking that things had calmed down. Unfortunately, Cranky's well down the order now. Liam is starting to up the pace a little bit. Micken picks up a penalty. That could be crucial come the end. Liam, 3-second penalty at the moment, so needs to, yeah, he's not going to clear Fleddy at that, is he, on the hard tyres, unless the mediums seriously drop off. So I get the feeling we're going to see a 6th win from Fleddy, and wrapping up the championship in style. Could have been an awful lot easier for him if that safety car didn't catch him out earlier on. Nothing he could really do about it. He just passed the pit lane entry. We've got Not V8 on the comments. How do you join this? The website is racingleaguehub.com, and yeah, if you go there, you will be able to find the link to the Discord. It should be linked on this channel. So yeah, that is how we'll go about that, and new season coming in the new year. So a couple of Christmas events and bits and pieces coming up. Now is very much the time to get into RLH and yeah, have some fun over the Christmas before all the serious stuff gets going once again. But Liam is, yeah, taking a bit of extra curb side by side with BJ Skipsy. Nicker is going very much side by side with Ricker as they fight amongst 7th place, and the Mercedes man is very much looking like the championship is not going to go his way. He's struggled on those hards since putting them on under the safety car. Nicker just about staying on the track. They're still side by side. Oh, there's going to be contact. Nicker's out. 2nd McLaren, unfortunately for him. It's been a promising but ultimately disastrous race for Nicker, and we get a 3rd safety car of the race on lap 19 just to set up yeah, an intense final few laps, no doubt, and that could be one final twist. Who are we going to see into the pits? How many are we going to see in the pits? Are we going to see the whole field in the pits? So we're coming around to the end of the lap, so we'll see in a moment if anyone does choose to pit. Back to that comment by Not V8. Yeah, if you go to the About section on this channel, you'll be able to find the website there. Go through there and apply, and we'll sort things out for you once you've joined the Discord. Skipsy pits. Liam is continuing on, and as is Fleddy, as is Giraffe. So interesting. Skipsy's pitted, Multi's pitted, Ricker has pitted to get those hard tyres off, and also pits to get the hards off. So this is interesting. I expected more to pit up the front. Mecken's continued on, so he's back up to 4th. Giraffe and Fleddy P2 and 3. Floody has managed to go without a penalty so far, and if he can do that, he will take the race win, even without having to make an overtake. Just has to maintain that 3-second gap to Liam. But, and we have not V8 in the Discord. That was pretty swift. Either way, back to the race. We've got lap 20 of 25. So what are we going to have? 3 laps maybe? 22, 23, 24, 25, maybe 4 laps of racing to close out this C2 season, which has had plenty of drama, and tonight sort of sums it up. A couple of unlucky drivers out there, a couple maybe trying a little bit too hard to sign off the season in style, and yeah, that leaves us with 11 drivers, the top 4 of which are all on the worst tyres. Cranky had just pitted a lap before, so he's on fairly new softs anyway. The Entity had been in just a moment before as well, so likewise. And yeah, we could have a final twist. I get the feeling it's looking... It's in Fleddy's hands at the moment, unless he sticks it in the wall in the last 4 or 5 laps. It's definitely going his way, and I'm pretty certain, availability pending and all that, we're going to see him in C1 next season. But Liam, what can he do to win this race? He's on the slowest tyre, he's on the oldest tyre, and he has a penalty, but he has track position. The penalty is probably the worst of those 3 factors, because yeah, track position, as we've seen so often, can be king. But yeah, that penalty means track position's irrelevant unless Fleddy picks one up himself. That's probably his best bet at the moment, because everyone around him has 3 seconds. But Skipsy in P5, brand new soft tyres. So he started. Skipsy, trying to get my words out. Skipsy started on the medium, put the softs on at one of the safety cars. I think probably the latest safety car, if not the safety car. Sort of, what would it have been, like 10, 11, and he's now on his 2nd set of softs. So I'd be surprised if they're brand new. Although no, he didn't use any in qualifying, did he? So yeah, they are almost certainly brand new soft tyres. Multi and Ricker in behind. Who else? I think Micken's mediums are fairly fresh, especially seeing as some of those laps have been under the safety car. Championship update, please. At the moment, it's Fleddy. So yeah, coming into this race, it was Fleddy on 277, Giraffe on 253, Ricker on 244. And as you can see, they're in that order anyway, so they'll stay Fleddy as the champion, and Giraffe runner-up, Ricker P3, and then Backer was P4. He's out of the race. Liam probably won't take that, although it could get pretty tight there. If Liam can find a way to win this race, he might take P4 in the championship, but he's fighting with Micken as well. Nick, who's out as well, so that's pretty much it. It's the top 3 to be settled. And in terms of the constructors, looks like Ferrari will take that one. They had the 6-point advantage, I believe, before this evening, and at the moment both of them are ahead of the Aston. And safety car in this lap. Safety car is already returning to the pits, and once again we've got Liam going to get us back underway. We're going to have 4 laps of this Jeddah street circuit, looking absolutely fantastic in the game. Not entirely finished around the infrastructure side of things. The track is very much finished, ready for the race in, I believe, just over a week's time, week and a half. Either way, Liam is back underway at the front on lap 22 of 25. It's a depleted field, but no doubt we'll get quite a lot of action as Micken comes in and sticking his nose into a bit of a championship fight there. He wants nothing other than a race win to sign off his season. A little bit of contact though, and oh, that's Giraffe. That's almost certainly championship over now, isn't it? Giraffe off the track. I think he's got no front wing. Ender comes through as well, and that wraps up the constructors as well then. Micken, after such a strong race, just stuck his nose in. The gap closed through sort of straights that aren't straights. Cranky's round again, and unfortunately, yeah, Micken, no front wing. I don't think Giraffe's got much as well. These pointless onboard cameras really are being a pain this evening. Yeah, absolutely no front wing on the Aston there. But let's go back to the conclusion of this race and the championship probably done. Race very much not. Ricker coming back through. Oh, multi-big slide through the middle of the chicane there. The Entity as well actually making pretty decent progress. Look at this is so close. Going down the back of the circuit, Christian Hasser making decent progress. Multi completely off the circuit there in P5. Ricker making a break for it. Skipsy, what can he manage? Can he come back from a qualifying crash? He's run 2 stints on the softs. At the moment, surely in the pound seats. And across the line they come then. Lap 23 of 25. Multi picks up a 5-second penalty for speeding in the pit lane, so he must have picked up some damage somewhere. Wait a minute, we've lost Multi. So front wing change. Unfortunately, we've lost him from the session. Not sure what happened there. Either way, Liam's doing a fantastic job of hanging on up the front, but how long can he pull it off for? Again, these onboard cameras in an external view. Skipsy is yeah, right on the back of them now. We've got a 3-car fight, 3 completely different strategies. 1 penalty thrown into the mix as well. Incredibly, Ricker, after we said earlier it might be slipping away from him. It only takes a moment for Fleddy in this 3-car fight, and Ricker's right back in this. But Liam at the moment is actually pulling a bit of a gap to Fleddy, if anything. As Christian Hasser picks up a penalty. So many penalties gone this evening. But these 3, Fleddy, Skipsy and Ricker, have steered clear of them so far. Skipsy, though, is yeah, a bit of a distraction Fleddy wouldn't want. These soft tyres are obviously very quick at this stage of the race. So at the moment, it's basically, it does Fleddy get involved in an incident. That's he can afford to let Skipsy go. Does he want to? Does he want the win to sign off the championship with a win? Is he that bothered? Does he want the big prize? DRS is enabled. It won't be on this straight, but Skipsy looks like he's going to make that move anyway and goes through into P2. Takes effectively a net lead with Liam's penalty. But, yeah, still on those old hard tyres, doing a fantastic job of keeping the pace up. And Skipsy then looking very strong now. Oh, Fleddy picks up a penalty. Fleddy picks up a penalty, so Ricker could possibly finish ahead of him. It's still not going to be enough. He needs Fleddy to sort of bin it at this stage. But Skipsy now, are we going to see an overtake on track for the lead? Lap 24 of 25. Just sort of 1.5 laps to go in this RLH C2 season. Are we going to see the fight for the lead come down to the very last lap? Or can Skipsy get it done before the start-finish line? Liam then through the back of the circuit into the final sector. We're going to have a DRS zone before we get to the end of the lap. And that is very much coming up now. So DRS will open. Now we're going to see Skipsy through on Liam down into the final corner. He's going to go for the outside. Should have massive braking potential back there. And yeah, job done. Skipsy goes through. Liam is now slotting into P2, and that is P2 for real, isn't it? With Fleddy picking up that penalty. Technically, at the moment, it's probably P3, is it? Ricker's not quite doing enough. Not quite got the pace on those softs. He's used a lot of his energy in making his way through the field. And are now coming under pressure from the Entity as he comes back through. Giraffe as well, trying to fight back, but unfortunately for him, a long way off where he needs to be. So, yeah, unfortunately, the fan club are going to go home disappointed. Skipsy now is down into the second sector on his final lap. Looks pretty comfortable from here. Liam doing a fantastic job. He's been right up there all evening, hasn't he? He's not put too much of a foot wrong, that penalty being the only blot on his book. But, yeah, picked all the right strategies really, and come away with a very respectable position. Ricker at the moment is doing just enough to take P3 from Fleddy. He's not quite in range of Liam. So he'll take a podium. He will knock the champion off the podium as it stands, but Fleddy's probably aware of that. He's willing to take a warning or two as well to get back up there. And look at that, oh my word, he's risking absolutely everything just to be on the podium. That was so close. Final corner, Skipsy coming round. Almost lost my voice here. This has been an incredible end to the season. Skipsy's going to come across the line to win the Saudi Arabian Grand Prix. Fleddy will take second, Liam will take third, Ricker will overtake the pair of them just ahead of Fleddy. And Liam P4 then knocked off the podium, unfortunately for him, right at the very end. Entity all the way back up to P5, Ender P6, Christian Hasser P7, and then unfortunately we've got the few towards the end who had incidents post-final safety car. But yeah, that's it then. We have a new C2 champion in Fleddy, finishing P3 this evening. Ricker will, I think, take P2 away from Giraffe right at the very end. It's been a spirited fight from the Aston guy all season long. It's very much been consistency that's brought him up into the championship fight, but unfortunately it let him down this evening. Skipsy out onto the podium then. Decent way to sign off for him. And probably takes a position or two in the championship as well. I think he might just about go up to P6 or 7 with that one. So yeah, very respectable season for him. Yeah, Ricker does take that P2 with P2. So yeah, very good final race for him. Almost got up to the top in the end. But yeah, Skipsy from 14th on the grid. It all worked out perfectly for him, didn't it? Medium first stint and then 2 stints on the softs. Final safety car worked out perfectly for him. And confirmation of your order for the final time this season. We've got Skipsy, Ricker, Fleddy, Liam, the Entity, and Christian Hasser, Crankybot, Giraffe, and Micken multi-finished, was classified a lap down. Nicker, Schnitzy, just in time. Phil, LS24, and Backer, way back at the start of the race, were your DNFs. So, yeah, for the final time this season, it's thank you very much from me. And yeah, we'll be back over the December and Christmas period with a couple of one-off races and events here and there. There's more news to come on that very soon. But other than that, we'll be back for league racing and points scoring action in the new year with January when we start season 11. So yeah, thank you very much all for joining once again, and good night.